Hi everyone, welcome to NYU Abu Dhabi's Campus Life webinar. We look forward to spending the next 45 or an hour with you and answering some of your questions. And I want to turn it over to our students and have them introduce themselves with their name, their year, what they're studying, and where they consider home.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Maria Lucia. I am from Peru. I'm a fourth-year student studying economics with a concentration in theory.
Hi, my name is Gladys. I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm a second-year student and I'm studying mechanical engineering.
I am Yumi. I'm a fourth-year student and I'm studying chemistry with a minor in political science. And I am from the U.S. and Japan.
Hello, my name is Gabriel. I'm a second-year student in computer science with a minor in economics and a minor in math. And I consider Cuba home.
Thanks. Well, it's Sunday today in Abu Dhabi, which is the first day of our school week, our work week. And so to give everyone a sense of kind of what do students do on weekends in Abu Dhabi, why don't we have a couple of you talk about how you just spent your weekend?
For the first time in so many weeks, I actually went out. I usually have a very busy schedule. So on Thursday night, right after my class, like at 6 p.m., I took the shuttle. Shuttle was free, by the way. And we went to Al Waqta, and then we had food, like a Korean restaurant that was 5 minutes away. It's called Haku. So good. And then after that, we went back to Al Waqta to watch a movie just this week. So that's how I spent my Thursday night. Then Friday, I worked.
And that's what is Al Waqta?
Al Waqta is a mall in Abu Dhabi. It's very big, and there's a lot you can find: theater, shopping. There's just like a lot of things to do inside Al Waqta and around Al Waqta as well.
I went grocery shopping and bought this knee bracelet I'm wearing. And then later, and this is not Friday, so then later in the day, I cooked dinner with my friends. We have this weekly thing that we do. I'll take some new recipes each week. And then we made a little collage of pictures from previous rounds of cooking and hung it up on the wall. And then yesterday, I Skyped with my parents. I think you every week. And we went out for dinner with an alumnus who was visiting for the weekend.
So then when you cook, where do you cook?
We cook, so all of the dorms have lounges on the second floor, which is sort of the ground floor of the actual residence building. And that lounge is equipped with a full kitchen. So you have a sink, a stove top, a heating oven, microwave, dishwasher, all that stuff. And so students can cook in those second floor lounges.
And then how far away is the grocery store? When you say you go to the grocery store, what does that look like for a student?
For me, well, I actually took a cab. This is unusual because we have shuttles that go to the various malls like you just mentioned, which are free. That takes maybe 20 minutes. But I went to Abu Dhabi Mall because I need to buy turkeys for Thursday's Thanksgiving celebrations. So that's about 15 minutes away.
I had time to get back the stuff in the convenience store. So I don't need the supermarket and have on campus with the laptop.
On Friday I went out with some friends to a cafe. It's in Saudi Island. Abu Dhabi is composed of many islands, and we live on Saudi, and it's basically 10 minutes away, and we basically stayed there for 3 to 4 hours, basically studying. It's very nice. Abu Dhabi has a very nice cafe culture. There are many places you can go to, and it's very nice to study there. It's food, grab some snacks, something like that. And then later on, I just came back home, studied for a bit. Studying is part of the weekend, mainly now that we're close to finals. So, and then on Saturday, I woke up really late. Good to sleep in on weekends, and I went to a play that's happening right now. It's a student production led by one of the professors of the arts department, and because like it was suggested by many of my friends, and actually two of my friends were playing. So.
And how's the play?
It was really nice. Yeah, it was in English and French.
And then if you're an NYU Abu Dhabi student, how do you get tickets to one of the performances?
So you actually just go online. You introduce your information, mainly your NYU ID number, and that's it. It's for free. You just get it.
You sign up, you can be part of the art center's mailing list, and then the same for like events that happen.
And even if you aren't a student, you can go to the website and they have a lot of performances that are available. You can get tickets for just the general public. So it's recommended if you're in the region.
Mainly because the art center is part of Abu Dhabi Arts, which is a network of cultural hotspots in the city, and we have many people coming almost on a daily basis, coming to campus just to see plays or music performance, pretty much anything. I honestly can't keep up with it because there's so much happening. So yeah.
I think that the highlight of my weekend was a beach football tournament we had yesterday on Saturday. So the female and the male soccer teams decided to arrange a football tournament in the beach. This was outside of what we usually do, what we usually train for the league. We just wanted to have fun. So we made these teams, 5 females and males, and we went to the beach to play football. And after that, we made a barbecue in the Corniche. The Corniche is the coast of Abu Dhabi. It has places to walk around. It also has some green areas. So we went to the green areas and we made the barbecue together, and it was super fun. We started at 9 and we finished at 6. It was really nice.
So are you part of the regular football team?
I am part of the regular football team, yes.
So can you talk a little bit about is it a competitive team? How did you try out for it? How long did you practice? Just give people a sense of.
Sure, of course. So there's different levels of competitiveness inside the university. There's different types of teams as well. At least for the football team, there's intramurals where you can play internally in the university, and you can play your own team with your friends. And you play an internal tournament. But there's also a league, an Abu Dhabi league called Aliso, where you play against other universities from Abu Dhabi and some of universities from Dubai as well. You don't need to do trials, but since we're going, it's very competitive. So you need to be fit when you join the team, and you need to keep coming to practice, of course, to show commitment, etc. If you want to be part of the team that plays the games. We practice almost every day at 7 a.m. because you can get really hot in Abu Dhabi. So practicing at 7 a.m. is usually this option, and also because we have class all day and trying to accommodate people's schedules can be really complicated. Practices are an hour and 15 minutes, and then we do some scrimmages or games after hours at night. And usually games are played once a week at night as well. Yeah, so that's how it works for us.
Are any of the other panelists involved with athletics or fitness on the campus?
So I regularly use the gym, and the trainers and physical therapists that we have, which all of those resources are open to students. You can actually book group training sessions with the trainers that we have. We've got 8 now. They all specialize in different things. And the physical therapist is available to club sport members, which I'll get into in a moment, and varsity sport members. So I also am part of the NYU Jiu-Jitsu team. Jiu-Jitsu is a type of martial art, and it's a club sport, so it's sort of halfway in between intramurals and the varsity teams. So we do compete outside of the university, mainly just because there aren't other university teams that actually have the sport that we're competing in. So, for example, with the Jiu-Jitsu team, I compete in the competitions that the UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation hosts. But not necessarily against the universities. We're actually looking into hosting our own tournament because we're starting to see more sports teams at other universities. I think the other sports, club sports teams are touch rugby and tennis.
Are there connected? I know that there are some student interest groups, some SIGs that are also related to sports and athletics and outdoor adventure type SIGs. Are any of you involved in the student interest groups, the SIGs, or do you want to talk a little bit about what that looks like at NYU Abu Dhabi?
So jiu-jitsu actually used to be a student-run sport SIG, or student interest group. And then there was enough established interest that athletics was willing to take that up as actually a formal part of the athletics department. But we do have other sports teams that exist depending on student interest. So when we had a bunch of people who were interested in water polo, they got together and would practice and play games against each other. I think that's the
It's
Is that
it used to be like a surfing and something paddleboarding.
And then like there's a running SIG that a bunch of my friends do for both distance and just short, long distance and short distance. There used to be a scuba diving SIG that again is very interest dependent, so it depends on the student.
But there is a scuba diving PE class. So the students are required to take 2 PE courses in their time at NYU Abu Dhabi. They can take even more because if they are interested. So so we have the second largest pool in the UAE. Students that take the scuba diving PE class go into the pool, train there, learn the basics, and they go into the beach.
I don't know what I took the swimming in my first year, and it was very, at first it was really like intimidating because the pool was very easy to say. But then after a week, I could do the backstroke, so I had to really train that.
Oh yeah, and then another big SIG is attitude dance. They offer, and actually some of the classes are taught by students, and they offer ballroom dancing, salsa, hip hop, ballet, and those are tango. Oh, okay, yeah, tango. And those are just like weekly classes. They have a recital at the end of the year. It's super fun.
They also, and Attitude, I think that Attitude is also a good example of one of those student interest groups who have also taken on kind of the responsibility of doing an annual conference as well that brings people in, like-minded professional students interested in dance to campus to kind of explore dance and the meaning of dance. What about MUN and debate? Are any of you?
So I used to be part of the MUN student interest group. And it's pretty much what the people that go into the MUN, many people are novice to MUN, but many of them already did it. For high school, we have students that have been to 20 plus conferences.
Mm-hmm.
When I entered the music I actually had gone only to 2, and all of them were in Spanish, so it was actually quite a challenge to go into an English-based MUN. So the experience is quite good because first we host our MUN called Change the World, and then this year for the first time we're hosting our own MUN. I think in spring semester, and then different teams, members get selected, go to different MUNs all around the world and regionally. Last year, I went to 2 conferences, one in the American University of Sharjah. Actually, NYU that was the school that won the most awards, to Sorbonne University. Abu Dhabi conference, which was their first time, and the MUN club has very good ties with the Sorbonne University club as well, and there's a lot of exchange going on, which through a student-run organization just enforces the ties between 2 universities. And finally, we also had a team going to the Harvard MUN last year. Also, I'm not part of the debate SIG, but I have several friends there. Some of them just went to Oxford debate conference, and the other group went to Hong Kong debate conference, and both the university got very good positions.
Yeah. We also just hosted one, debate.
Oh, high school debate.
So the debate team travels internationally about 4 times a year. They meet and practice regularly, weekly here on campus. So then, in addition to Hong Kong and Oxford, this past weekend, the debate union hosted a tournament on campus for high school students. So one of the things that the debaters are trying to do is build a culture of debate in the UAE. And so I think there were about 14 different high schools that participated this weekend, and then they'll be back for a tournament next weekend. And then we had 4 debaters and 2 moderators go to Dubai a week ago. And they were part of the Global Future Council, and we did a really wonderful debate on the impact of the 4th Industrial Revolution on jobs, on youth jobs. So the debate team is actually very active. Yeah.
There's even a 4 credit class.
Yes.
Which for the students that don't have any experience, they can even take the class 4 credit on actually get very good experience.
Yeah. And I imagine a lot of prospective students also wonder about, they're hearing you talk about all the things you're involved in. I know the 2 of you are in your 4th year. And so maybe just having each of you talk a little bit about kind of the internships you've done, the work that you've done to prepare yourself for life after NYU Abu Dhabi, and as you're thinking about careers or graduate school, what are some of the things that you're thinking about and that you've done at university to prepare you for that? Do you want to start?
On the question of the year. Okay. So just a reminder, I'm a chemistry major. So in terms of internships, I've done a lot of research. I started this summer after my 1st year, and I was working in the lab on campus. That during my freshman fall, I did an internship at the American Chamber of Commerce in Abu Dhabi. That was really quite an experience because it was my 1st year here, and I was taking a bunch of classes and adjusting to college life in general, and then I put the internship on top of it. Managed. It was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it. The internship. Maybe not the same time that I did. And then so I did research and internship freshman years. And then I did another research internship in Tokyo at Waseda University this summer after my sophomore year. And then I've been working in the admissions office my junior year and currently in my senior year. And I continue to do more research. So I'm interested in going into STEM policy, so governance things related to the sciences, specifically agricultural or food policy. So I've been working on a lot of projects where on campus where I'm developing those people skills, the soft skills, in order to be able to manage a long-term project that involves a lot of different people. And then I've gotten the academic background for chemistry and the experience of working in the lab, again, on these very long-term projects where you have to be constantly setting new goals and making sure that you don't lose sight of that big picture. So hopefully those skills, currently I'm looking for jobs, and those skills are really practical.
And when you're looking for jobs, are you looking in the UAE? Are you looking in your home country? Or are you looking elsewhere?
So I actually don't have any geographic preferences. The UAE is useful because I've been here for 4 years and I'm familiar with what it's like to live here. Of course, I sort of miss home too, so I'm looking at home. But I'd be happy to go pretty much anywhere. That's actually one of the really cool things about getting to study at NYU AD. Again, I grew up mostly in the US and I was going to go to an American college. Well, I guess I sort of did, but coming here meant that I realized that there's so many more opportunities outside of my home country. And you get all these connections to people around the world. So for example, that internship that I did in Tokyo, I do have family in Japan, but I asked my research advisor if he knew someone in Japan so that I could both make sure I'm keeping up with my research skills and learning new things, but also being able to visit my family. And he managed to help me arrange that opportunity. I've had friends who've gone to London or to Greenland, all over the world because of these connections that they've been able to develop on campus.
How about the rest of you? Jobs and internships?
Sure. So I guess I've had internships on campus and off campus. Summers have always been off campus or outside the UAE, and the academic year has been on campus. I've worked for admissions since my freshman year, and I've also worked as an RA, resident assistant for residential education last year. In terms of summers, I think that two of my most interesting internships were, the first one was in Peru. I wanted to go back home and actually reconnect with my country over the summer, so I decided to look for jobs there, and I actually managed to get an internship with that telecommunications company in my second year. It was an amazing experience because it was a company, it wasn't a top large company, so I actually managed to meet completely new people that I probably have never connected before. I learned a lot about the industry I knew nothing about. And then last summer I worked in Washington DC at the Inter-American Development Bank as an intern for the transportation division. That experience again was incredible because I was looking forward to get involved with international organizations, and this is an organization that is like the World Bank, but for Latin America and the Caribbean. So it was anything in the World Bank but for region. So I was working in the US with people from more than 40 countries, to say so, in a place where there were like about 3,000 people. I actually managed to know people and get really good connections, good communication for the future. And right now I'm looking to stay in the UAE for a couple of years. I'm really interested in going into the private sector again. I've been in the private sector, in the international organization, say so, environment, but now I want to go back to the private sector before I do a master's or a PhD, which I haven't decided yet. But yeah, I would like to stay here because the market is really growing in the region, and with Expo 2020 coming soon, I think there's a lot for them personally in this region.
And before Gladys and Gabriel answer the question, I'm sure some of the prospective students are also wondering, are any of these internships paid? Are they, when you talk about your summers and your on-campus work, are there opportunities for students to make money, to save money? And so are any of these things you've talked about paid positions?
Yes, I mean, most of them actually. The ones on campus for sure, they're paid. You have to get there's a minimum salary on campus, and that's what you're paid per hour. And also the internship I did in the US was also paid. I managed to get a visa that allowed me to get paid. So yes, most of them have been paid.
For me, most have been unpaid, except for research, it's a little bit different. You get practice writing these grant proposals essentially, which is if you're going to go in the research path, it's a useful skill. You can apply for funding to help support your summer research, which is what I've done. And also the Career Center, so the CDC, the Career Development Center, is a really good resource for helping find those funding sources. Again, especially if you're going outside of UAE or outside of your home country, sometimes we don't necessarily know what all the resources that we have available are, and they're really, really useful. They also have the CareerNet jobs portal, which I've been utilizing heavily recently, because that's a listing of thousands of positions that are open that the companies are looking for specifically for NYU or NYU AB students, and that helps. The Career Center has been building those networks for students as well, and they host a lot of workshops to help us network. So you can find things like full-time jobs, like I'm working for right now, or internships, which are both paid and unpaid, on campus, off campus. Everything that we have there, they're a great resource.
CareerNet has been a blessing. I knew about CareerNet before I came because of kind of thinking. In my first year, I actually managed to intern on campus with the Office of Quality Education Enhancement. really good experience, but I haven't been able to do much of like research or internship in the engineering field, but I've been exploring classes. And this semester I'm interning with the admissions office as well. And yeah, some of the internship with the admissions office is 8 hours minimum wage, and I'm looking into doing research during the summer. Last summer actually, because I was doing a summer course, and then I went back home and did a lot of volunteering that I did, like work with a specific company. So this summer I'm looking into doing research and even maybe happening a bit of internship.
Oh, one more thing to mention. So the American Chamber of Commerce internship that I got, I actually got that one through talking to the representatives at the career fair that they host at the beginning of each semester. So especially if you're looking for internships, a bunch of companies in the Abu Dhabi area come to campus for the express purpose of meeting students. And that's a really great way to get yourself out there.
Regarding that, actually, this fair is hosted once a semester, and it's actually the largest fair in the country, largest career fair in the country. And actually, we don't only have people from Abu Dhabi, we have many people from Dubai. Actually, subsidiary companies of large companies like Bosch, McKinsey, EY, top 5 consulting companies, like representative from many like transnational companies. We'll have people flying from the US to Abu Dhabi just for this fair. Also my experience has been, so last year I had an internship with the athletic training center. I had massage training back home, and I wanted to keep up with that, so I got an internship there. I actually learned a lot with focus in athletic massage. And then this year, so during the summer, I stayed home. I think that this is not said, but like most of the time it's okay to just go home for the first time. Go back home for the first summer. I really wanted to do it. My family also wanted me to. It was my first time completely living up like by myself in another country. So my family really wanted me to go back. So and that is completely okay to do it. You have time to get internships in the other summers.
It's also good like to talk to your mentor or academic advisor about your internships, because I was like looking into doing an internship in Dubai in Italy, but then my academic mentor like took me through like how next semester will be pre-hectic and going to Dubai during the weekdays for pre-hectic. So this Rabbi was saying that it's not don't have to do it immediately in the first year. There will always be opportunities as well.
So yeah, right now I actually think a bit too much of myself because I have 2 jobs on campus. I have an internship with the admissions office, and I also have an internship with the office of the dean of student. I have an internship with a startup in the US. So and that's most likely where I'm going to spend my summer working with them.
That sounds like a lot.
I didn't think that through.
It's okay, we make mistakes.
I would be like Jimmy. Don't do that to yourself afterwards. But yeah, it's been interesting.
And then I think probably in addition to internships, some students probably have questions about whether or not there are volunteer opportunities. Are there opportunities that if you can't commit an entire semester to interning, either on campus or off campus, are there ways that you can get involved in the community in other ways? And do you have examples of those?
So actually connecting back to jobs opportunity and the career development center, actually getting an internship is not the only way. For example, this semester, I joined this interest group and created the male catering branch. We've had a female mentorship program for a few years now. And it's basically what it does is that it connects students with professionals in the UAE. And me and a few other students decided to partner with this student interest group to cater for the male population. So we're basically partner organizations right now. And we started this year. And actually, my drive to do this, it was because I wanted to get myself out there to get to know the professional landscape in the UAE, mainly because I'm looking into staying in the UAE when I graduate. Is an option for me, and actually, it's not a job, it's not an internship, but I've had the opportunity to meet so many professionals in the UAE just doing a student interest group that it relates to the professional development students. And actually, we've worked very closely with the Career Development Center, which has been very supportive on this. So there are many ways you can get involved, and just don't think that just getting an internship is the goal. It's important, but if you don't think you're ready for it in your first or second year, there are different ways that you can get involved. And that would be somehow fun volunteer opportunity, but we also have a volunteering student interest group that is advocacy, which is a sort of umbrella for other 4 different student interest groups which cater different volunteer opportunities. This first semester, I was part of a lot of 6, and I think that's everyone. So I did some volunteering with advocacy, and we went to a labor camp to work with meet migrant workers through culture and sport. We would engage with them, hear them out, and actually try to cheer them up and just give them time to relax and understand what they're going to do.
Students have also organized donation drives. I think we donated basic necessities to refugees in various places. And we've also, there's other events on campus, like a staff appreciation day. So in the second chance store. So we've got a lot of initiatives on campus for students to show their appreciation to our contract staff. And that's something that you can get involved in for a short term. It's a specific project, and the level of commitment is a little bit more flexible than a regular, weekly visit to the living test, for example. And then there's other workshops and opportunities. There's on-campus ones as well. Oh yeah,
I was in my first year. I got involved with Jen. So Jen is Girls Education Network, and as a co-facilitator, we had high school girls from the UAE. Normally in their 9th or 10th or 11th grade would come in every Sunday. So they were called for 6 weeks in the semester and every Sunday. So this was an opportunity to just engage in workshops and using skills with the girls and just kind of seem to shape how they think about the future. And it was really an invaluable experience for me. I just didn't get to mentor them, but I learned from them as well. So there's also bonus education.
And then in addition to volunteering, maybe you're involved in some of the committees on campus, or designing committees. So there's also a student government here at NYU Abu Dhabi, and there are several ways to get involved through student government.
So student government, you may be familiar with it if you have it at your high school. So we have the general president of student government who represents the entire student body. There's other elected positions. They're called the executive board, and they help just organize the student government as a whole. What I'm directly involved in, and I have been since my freshman year, is the dining committee. So we have various committees. There's the health and wellness focused. So the people who deal with the clinic and the mental health counselors. We have the campus life policy committee who works with the Dean of Students office. And I work on dining. There's more committees than familiar with dining. So that's something that the process changes depending on the committee, but you either can just sign up or you write a very easy application to join the committee. any student can do that. We recommend that you please join our committees. And then if you show either consistent interest and skill, you can be elected committee chair, which I've been serving as. So if you have specific issues on campus that you're passionate about, things that you want to see improved or changed, student government is a really great voice for collectively presenting student concerns.
And so what's as the chair of the dining committee, and students may have questions around like dining facilities and meal plans, but what's an example of something that students have brought to the attention of the committee that you've been able to make changes on campus as a result?
So actually one of the biggest things that we've done is that in the past 4 years that we've been on this campus, so since the Saviak campus opened, at the very beginnings, we didn't have a salad bar, and there were almost no vegetarian options. And there's a significant population on campus that is either vegan or vegetarian, and people who just want to be healthy. So we've been pushing, we've been pushing very hard for healthy options in general. We've now got a 40-option salad bar. As of last count, we've increased vegetarian options and gotten specific recommendations for food that also fits the regional tastes of various segments of our campus population. That increase was, I think, 60% for vegetarian options alone. We've introduced things like the global food counter, which is where the chefs try to represent at least some of the 115 countries we've got represented, which is actually really hard. But they do try to make some dishes that are something like what you can get at home. And of course, if that doesn't quite work, you can always cook it as well. To do that a lot. So, yeah, all the restaurants.
Yeah, it's almost like every
So
kind of
good.
nationality.
Yeah.
And then maybe if we can just spend a few minutes talking a little bit about what it's like to live on campus. And so all of you live on campus, right? And you all have roommates. And do you want to talk a little bit about what is your setup? How did you choose your roommate? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, well, I wanted to talk a quick 10-minute meeting, like 10 years, like, whoa, the rooming situation. Like, I felt like I was in a hotel, like, would it be like this? And like, it actually is like that. It was better. So when my freshman year, I didn't choose my roommate because I just wanted to like start something new and just like meet someone new. And I was fortunate to get a very significant roommate. This rooming situation in my year, we were able to choose roommates, but I understand now having freshmen with not able to choose their roommates, they only like able to explore preferences, like who, like what kind of room temperature they want, for example.
Compatibility.
Yeah, compatibility is so great, but they can't choose because they're trying to kind of more like integration. But I got to choose. I didn't choose my roommate, and in my year, people were able to choose their roommates. And I was in a visitation building that's like with a core whereby each males and females are separated by a floor. I was on the sixth floor, and then fifth floor males going down that way. And this year, I was able, like, I really wanted to get a single. I was able to get a single because I wanted to like study my room more open, and it's hard at times to study in your room and the bubbles. So I actually shifted to a non-visitation building that's only for girls now. And I really like it. It's quite quiet as compared to a co-ed building. And laundry is easier to do it. It's easy to do laundry there. And yeah, that's like my situation.
Well, I mean, in my case, I've been living with the same roommates for the 4 years, since 17, but at the time where I was in RA and they were abroad. But yeah, so the way we chose each other was like a chain. I wanted to room with someone, I wanted to room with someone, I wanted to room with someone. So that's how the 4 of us ended up living together. And it worked perfectly. Yeah. So I think that the living on campus is amazing. I think Gladys mentioned most things right now, but as a previous array, I can say that we have a lot of support to live on campus. So even though nowadays in your freshman year, because this is only for your freshman year, you cannot choose your roommates, you're still probably get to live with someone that has many similarities to you. And if you get to have any issue with your roommates, you will have a very good support network from your RA. The RA is the person that gives you your blood, usually an upperclassman, for sure, someone older than you, that will be helping you out to sort any issues you have, if you feel comfortable with roommates, or if you just think something broken in your room, they'll guide you in how to solve that, how to get the facilities to come and fix it up. So it's really easy to live in campus. And also from someone that has been abroad already, we have to say that the dorms in Abu Dhabi are the best in the entire NYU network, for sure. Even I lived in the newest building in New York, and we compared to the facilities we have here for dorms. So yeah, just take advantage. They're still pretty new.
You mentioned that we do look on the second floor, like in our suites, we do have a sink, and like for the fridge, but we're not allowed to cook.
No hot plates, but
No hot plates,
there's a lot you can do with the microwave. Tea. Yeah, I was actually really lucky. My freshman year, I've had roommates from 9 countries, which is really cool. And my favorite part, actually, of just like living on campus in this kind of environment is the like 3 a.m. conversations when you really should be sleeping. But like something about late night, just random conversations with your roommates. Like I've had the most interesting conversations. You learn so much from other people that way. So my roommates have been, I found a core group of people that I've been living with for the past 3 years. Where they're a great support system. I absolutely love them to death. And they're also just, because everybody comes with such different experiences. I mean, okay, the thermostat might be a point of contention, but once you figure that out, like there's so much to learn from them.
Yeah, so my first year, I roomed with, I'm coming from Cuba, never lived abroad, only knowing Cubans. My first year was actually quite interesting because my roommates was, I had a Nepali, a Ukrainian, and a Lithuanian roommate. So I was like, okay. And that's the good thing about NYU Abu Dhabi is that you really don't get to meet this. It's very hard to meet a person from the same country. Yeah, actually.
We're the only Cuban to meet another one.
Yeah, like, for example, right now here we are from 5 different countries. You kind of
representing 2 of them.
Yeah, so kind of fun. So yeah, and that's the cool thing about Abu Dhabi is that you actually get to know so many people from so many different villages. And right now, I'm extremely lucky this is not gonna happen again. Last year there was for the last time a raffle.
Okay.
A raffle. And I actually got a room for myself, like a double room for myself. And another room for my roommate, and my Ukrainian room for the first year. This is not normal. No, this is not the case for everyone. And now he's leaving for Berlin, and I actually getting a new roommate who I don't know. So I'm back again in the first year, so, and seeing how it goes. And I hopefully it will go very well. Yeah, everyone here, besides any rooming condition, which like you don't fit in a room with someone, everything is very normal. So I've talked to many people in the freshman class right now, and they are actually really happy with their roommates, even if they didn't choose them, because the proposal form actually works most of the time.
Yeah, and part of that is figuring out, it forces you to think about, am I somebody that likes to stay up really late to study at night? Do I always need to wake up early to get to the gym? Do I like to keep a really, really clean room? Or do I clean once a semester? Because I think that helps people find each other. And it's not perfect, but I think it gets
Yeah, that's
close.
so.
Yeah. One question that some prospective students might have is in terms of learning languages, have any of you come to NYU Abu Dhabi and chosen to learn a new language either through a course or through the SIG that helps facilitate learning new languages?
I actually was part of the SIG, Tower of Babel, and so from my experience, I took Arabic the first semester, and sadly I had to stop because of the class schedule. But I actually got to learn the basics. It's also very good. Like I sometimes try it out with my Arabic speaking friends. And going back to the SIG is that we have funded by one of the third-year students and one of our junior students, and it's called Tower of Babel. We have native students teaching their native language to any other student on campus. For example, last year, I was part of the executive board of this SIG, and I actually was teaching Spanish 102. So,
like Urdu, like Japanese, like
Chinese.
Korean, Chinese, like pretty much any language that's somewhat widely spoken. It's based on the student interest. So if you're willing to teach, they're always willing to make space for that.
Exactly. So, yeah, like Korean and Spanish are among the most popular. For
I took Arabic as well in my first year. I was undecided between Mandarin and Arabic. I'm glad I took Arabic. It made me like more, like I felt like I was learning more about the region, and I really liked it because it's so different. Like the alphabet is totally different, and like I was practicing with my friends, like in the answers and practice. And I felt like I learned more than the basics, but after I stopped taking it, you forget them. Yeah.
I learned Spanish, but because of my semester abroad. So I went with no Spanish, and then my host mom didn't speak any English, so I had to learn really quickly. And then I haven't practiced it. So
This is
please
in
don't put
Madrid.
me on the spot. But this was in Madrid, yeah. I did take Chinese for 5 years before coming here, and my roommate would practice to help me keep up with my Chinese during freshman year. And there's actually a Chinese English table, which I found this year, but that's also available.
hosted by the Chinese cultural thing.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of cultural things on campus. Malu has been very involved with the Latin American thing. So.
Like, okay. So yeah, there are many cultural things on campus. Thank you for putting me in the spot. I can talk about the Latin American thing. I think it's been a great opportunity for both students that want to show their culture or students that want to learn about new cultures to get involved. For instance, in my freshman year, we organized a big event. What we do it every year. The time I got the most involved was during my freshman year. Something called the Latino Night, which is a cultural night that hosts around 300 people, including students, staff, and national ambassadors. So it's a huge event. We present music, art, different cuisines, and have booths laying out the culture. And these sort of events are great because, I mean, we put a lot of effort and we see our effort being portrayed and our culture being portrayed, but also we get support from people from other cultures. I'm sure Juni has some frequency in like 10 years time by now.
Yeah.
I'm sure
My favorite event of the year, honestly. It's so much fun.
And yeah, I mean, we've had people helping out with the food, and we have people in the booths, like in the booths, and like help with decorations and art. So yeah, I mean, when you come here and you want to see, like, regardless of all these opportunities outside your culture, meeting new people, having roommates from around the world, if you still want to be part of your culture, there's for sure some national cultural seat that you may want to join. If you're a Latino, you're welcome to join us.
If you're not, you're welcome to.
Yeah. If you're not, you're welcome too. If you want to learn more about us and just have amazing food,
Well, I think we are out of time, and so I just wanted to thank the four of you and thank everybody for joining us and learning a little bit more about NYU Abu Dhabi campus life. Does anybody have any last thoughts that they would want to share with students who are looking at NYU Abu Dhabi and thinking about whether or not this is a good fit for them from a campus life perspective?
Well, I would love to say that there's regards to student life, there's always something happening. For me, I don't even have to go out. There's so much that happens on campus, I can't keep up. So like when you come to NYU Abu Dhabi, even though you feel like something else is like in a bubble away from the city, there's always like the city comes to you like there's always events, there's open mic, there's always something happening that like you get engaged and you never feel bored on the first or Friday night. So there's always something to do. So I think like the focus.
Yeah, for me, it's you prepare to be amazed. So there's so much, and it's like you keep meeting people from different parts of the world. It's just that how? It's like, that's the question all the time. It's like for me it was quite overwhelming when I came. Can't live with it, will be for sure. That's like a no-brainer. And it's about being ready to not to like feel home in a place where like make the world your home, as cliche as that might sound, because here you won't feel home. Me being the only national from my country, it's hard because there are many things I miss, but I've learned to love the place where I can become someone that is part of it, like knows and is part of a larger community. So
Two things. So one is like take the time to get to know people. Always that's something that's really special about this place. Because when else are you going to be in that international environment where like people I've learned so much about just things like religion, for example. I come from a place that isn't very accepting of Islam, for example, and coming here and actually getting to speak to students who are practicing and to just live in a place where they call, like if I go downtown, I hear the call to prayer, and then that's just a normal feature of life, and getting to sort of humanize these things that sometimes we aren't as exposed to back home is like really, really important, and it's so easy to do here. The second thing is that we've been talking about so many things that you can do. Just make sure that you take the time to breathe and address your own health. We have wonderful mental health facilities, physical health facilities that are there to just sort of help deal with things if the stress is too much or you're going through something particularly tough. That support network is one of the parts that's really, really integral to the experience that you'll have on campus. And we try to create as open and inclusive of an environment as we can. So, and I've experienced this, people are so willing to help out, you just have to ask. And all those resources are there. So please utilize them if you ever feel like you might need it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, as we said, the hardest thing will be to choose what you want to do with your time. That's for sure going to be the hardest thing, and you need to consider having some free time for yourself, but doing all the things you want. If you have any passion and you come here with a passion, you'll be able to continue doing whatever you were doing back home, for sure. But also take advantage to learn new things. I mean, you're surrounded by so many new people and so many new things going on. To take advantage and get involved, get out of your comfort zone and try new things. That would be my advice.
Thanks to all of you. Thanks again to everybody out there, and we hope that you want to learn even more about NYU Abu Dhabi.